what I want to talk about today is virtual reality outside of gaming. And so yeah, like I said, formed a company called TruVision, and what we do is we take plans from architects and construction companies and turn that into virtual reality experiences. And that means people can actually walk around their homes or buildings before they're actually built. And so yeah, a quick little question. So who here has actually used virtual reality before at all? That's actually quite a lot of people, a lot more than I expected. So yeah, might as well disregard this talk completely then. But yeah, so I'm sure a lot of you know virtual reality is actually kind of emerging quite well at the moment. And this is a graph I put up quite a lot, as Lewis and Gary will attest to. So this is a Gartner hype cycle, and it shows the kind of trends of emerging technologies. And first there's this kind of huge peak where a technology's first come out and people are getting really excited about it, thinking about new things they can do with it. And then it goes into a trough where maybe the technology isn't actually that good and people get bored of it. But then it starts to kind of achieve mainstream adoption. And you can see quite small there, circled in red, is virtual reality. So over this year and the next coming years, virtual reality really is going to start to come into the mainstream. And this can really be seen by huge investment into virtual reality. So Oculus, who some of you may know, were bought out by Facebook for $2 billion recently, brought out their new headset, the Rift, as have HTC, and huge other companies like Google and Samsung also getting involved in this space. There's also huge companies like Ubisoft, Crytek, and even PlayStation bringing out a VR headset later this year. So you can see there's a lot of investment in this space. And so why am I actually talking about virtual reality outside of gaming? So as I said, we run a virtual reality company that deals in the architecture space. And we go to a lot of trade shows. Here you can see myself and Connor EcoBuild this March. And a lot of people come up to our stand and say, oh, is this a game? Or is this a technology just for gaming? And I'm really kind of trying to dispel that myth that it is just for games. And there's quite an interesting case study in the architecture space, which is of an architecture company called Purcell. And they were trying to get planning permission for an extension to a grade 2 listed church in Richmond. And they were having real trouble getting that permission. And as you can see on this graph as well, almost half of the planning applications which require approval actually get turned down. So what they did is they worked with a virtual reality company and turned their designs from something flat and really hard to envisage like this into something like this. And this, they gave their client a headset and also the planners as well, and that then allowed them to walk around the space and actually see exactly how the space felt and how it'd look before it was built, and that actually helped them gain planning permission. But more importantly, it actually got the client to see exactly what they're getting and exactly kind of get involved in that design process as well and really kind of get what they wanted. And the client here, the Reverend, was saying they were really struggling to find out what the drawings meant, but there's CAD drawings before, it's really hard to visualize from that exactly what something's going to look like. And for the first time, he really had an idea of what it was turning into, even saying dreams made visible. And so yeah, we don't have that demo, I'm afraid, but we do have one of our own, of course. So if I can invite Lewis back up to the stage, I can actually show you a little bit maybe of what we do. Right, so here you can see the building that we took from a plan and turned into this virtual reality environment. And we try and make it as realistic as possible, add embellishments like trees. You can even hear the sounds over me talking of birds in the background, and see add lights in there, wallpaper. And if he goes right into the living room now, he'll actually be able to see a TV on and a fire going as well. And then if he goes back towards the kitchen, it's not only just visualizing the space itself, we can actually change things in the environment. So we can now change the furniture, try different chairs out, try different tables, and also we can change kind of like the finishes on stuff as well. So like the kitchen counter here, for example. And even different times of day as well. So for example, we can do it in day and also in a nighttime setting. Very nighttime. But here you can see kind of different effects of different lighting on the building, you can change the interior and actually really get a feel for what this building's going to be like once it's finished. So thank you for that, Lewis. Time to get back to the boring slides. The next example I've got for you is a project that was done by Staffordshire University. And now they got a £140,000 grant from the EU Commission, which is absolutely massive, to look into virtually recreating crime scenes. And they used really cutting edge technologies like laser scanning, drones, and virtual reality to kind of recreate these crime scenes and get the jury to go into these scenes and actually experience what it exactly looked like when the police turned up. What they did was they kind of went out, laser scanned these environments and put that into a virtual reality scene so people could actually go in there, walk around the crime scene, transport around, and actually have a look around, see what was around and get a real idea of what the environment looked like. And I mean, this is a really great use of technology, and this is what the Ministry of Justice spokesman had to say. He said, making the most of new technology will remove unnecessary hearings, cut costs, and make justice more accessible. And I mean, if this technology can be used to save money, save time, and get the correct verdict more often, then surely that's something we should be looking into more. So the final example I'm going to look at today is using it for training surgeons. Now, it's been a bit of a visual presentation, but I didn't really want to show any live surgery or anything like that, so I just got one little picture for you. So, I mean, virtual reality has been used for a few things in this space. Firstly, for kind of recording surgery and allowing trainee surgeons to see that, actually get up really close, whereas usually they'd be sat at the side of the operating room, not being able to get up close and seeing really what's going on. But also, the more important thing is they've actually simulated, I have to look for the word here, simulated laparoscopic procedures, which to you and me means using fibre optic cameras to go inside the body and actually navigate around and see what's going on. And they did a study across, I think 16 surgical trainees, and they found that the ones trained with virtual reality were quicker, more efficient, and made much fewer errors. So again, this is a technology that can be used to really even save lives possibly. So again, much more uses outside of gaming. So thank you for listening.